Hi guys, Tim Jordan here, the Product Marketing Manager from the marketing team here at Open Colleges. Today we're going to talk about a course we're launching soon called the Certificate for in Design, specialising in digital design. So the presentation is going to go for about probably 20 to 25 minutes, and at the end of it hopefully to give you a good idea of what's involved with this course and help you when talking to potential students about this course. So let's get started. So what we're going to talk about today is I'll go through an overview of the course, kind of why it's been developed, the background behind it. We'll talk about who the audience is for this course, who we think is going to be interested in it, and what their motivations are and their demographics. We'll talk about what outcomes they'll get from studying this course, what kind of jobs that a graduate could get when they finish. We'll go through the structure of the course, how many study periods, how many units, how it's all kind of set out and how it was designed. Then we'll talk about the entry requirements and what students will need to have in order to enrol in the course. There's some details around credit transfer for this course that I'll go through, and then we'll finish off by talking about our competitors and how we compare against those, what our unique selling points are for this course, and what the pricing options are, what the price is, and what our payment options are for the course. Okay, so both the overview for this course was that both of our Certificate for in Design in Graphics and Certificate for in Design in Web were in need of an upgrade. Both of these courses have been around for a few years, and the material was starting to get a little out of date, and we wanted to tidy up these two courses. So the faculty undertook a project to start to redesign these courses, and through that they started, after talking with the design industry, they realized that the traditional worlds of graphic design and web design are no longer separate. They're starting to overlap a lot more, and that your traditional graphic designers, while there's still a need for those, increasingly a graphic designer needs to understand how web design works, because most of the work that a designer is producing these days will be used in the digital world, the majority of it. And conversely, web designers need to have a real understanding of how to put together graphics. They need to have that traditional training in graphic design to be able to do their jobs better. So these days, increasingly, we're not seeing a split between traditional graphic designers and web designers doing separate jobs. Increasingly, designers in today's world need to have the skills of both. So the decision was made to create a brand new field called digital design, which we think will better prepare our graduates for the workplace. So it's essentially a combination of the two courses, a combination of graphic design and web design. And when we go live with the course, with the new course, the Cert 4 in Design specialising in digital design, it's going to replace both the graphic design specialisation of the Cert 4 and the web design specialisation of the Cert 4. So you'll have a single course that really combines the best of both worlds. So we think that the target audience for the new course is going to be very similar to those who were interested in our current courses, who are interested in the web and the graphics fields, specializations of the Cert 4. So we're aiming the course at those who are looking to get into the field, so those who are looking to get into the graphic design, into web, into visual and communication design. So these areas of design that are current in the industry. When we did the research on the industry, so the Department of Employment issued a report in the last few years that suggested that this field of digital design is predicted to be a high growth industry. And it also there was also another report that suggested that due to the growth in online and digital marketing and online and digital communications, there's going to be a demand for up to 50,000 new jobs in the graphic and web design field. So that's predicted by 2017. And it makes sense. It means that As you can tell, the traditional fields of design like magazines, newspapers, billboard media, that sort of thing, they're starting to shrink, and where the growth is in online design, web design, things to do with mobile app development, that sort of thing. So we think that the students interested in this course are likely to already be working in design or working in a creative field, and they want to use the course to draw on their experience and to formalize their learning. And we think that those people are going to be interested in the content of the course. They're going to know what they're going to be learning, and they're also going to be interested in who our industry connections are and how we've ensured that our course is relevant for industry. But we also think there's a segment of the audience that's going to have no real design experience, but they'll have a strong personal interest in design and in being creative, and they're using their pathways using this qualification as a pathway into the industry. So, think of a student who's always been a good drawer or illustrator, who's thinking to themselves, I think I want a career in a creative field, but I'm not sure how to get there. And perhaps this qualification that combines, the traditional graphic design, but also gives them an understanding of how to communicate that design in a digital world is going to be a good fit for them. So these people will be interested in the fact that the course is nationally recognised and accredited, and that there are demonstrated outcomes from the course, that you can get a job when you graduate from the course. So the demographics for who our students are, this is based on the demographics of the current courses that we're offering, the graphic design and web design course. So in terms of what students tell us is their motivation for studying the course, so a good portion, almost 40% of our students say that they're studying the course because of a career change. They want to make a change into the field. So they're currently working in an area that they're not happy with, or they prefer the creativity to be able to express themselves through a design career. And then 31% have either said they're doing this course for their own self-development, or to gain extra skills in their current job or current career, current industry. So those are more your career enhancers who are looking to study this course to move up through their career, or just to gain extra skills to keep themselves current. The split between male and female has been, so far, it's been 67% female. So that's slightly lower than our average across open colleges, but probably pretty similar to the current courses that we have. And a high level of people will already be working. So we estimate around 70% of students coming to this course will be employed already, whether they're working full-time or part-time. Some of them have even indicated they'll be self-employed. And that's, again, higher than the average for the rest of the Open Colleges courses, but it means that students are either in a job that they want to change careers into design, or they're already working in the design field and want to use this course to formalise their learning. There'll be a good proportion of students who will hold a higher level qualification. So these will not be, more than likely, they won't be students coming to us who haven't never studied before or haven't studied for a long time. We think a quarter will hold a bachelor degree in a different field, not necessarily a design field, but a different field, and a good proportion will already hold a Cert 3. So I guess that means that they'll be, more familiar with the concept of learning and studying, but perhaps not online learning itself. And the age bracket skews a little younger than most of our Open Colleges courses. So the majority of those will be in their mid to late 20s. So, we're thinking early-ish in their working life, in their working career. They're maybe they've hit 25 and realise they're in a job they don't like, or a career they don't like, and they really want to explore their passion. But there'll also be a good chunk of younger students who may be under 21, who will be in that kind of school leaving age, who will be coming to us looking to study the course. So, in terms of getting a job, this this course, the Certificate 4 in Design, should give students the skills to become a junior or assistant designer. So they'll go in at that relatively entry-level stage in their career. It's not going to give them the skills to be a designer, a straight-out designer. That would be more suited to the Diploma of Graphic Design. But what it means, I mean, they could certainly use this course to become a freelancer, or they could use this course to, start their own little business. And as we know, for designers, it's less about the qualification that they have behind them and more about the quality of their work. So you can always mention that when you're talking to prospects. A professional designer is not judged on their, where they went to university or what qualification they achieved, but more about the quality of their work. But graduates from this course should have the skills to find work in places like creative agencies, advertising agencies, and medium to large size companies that require in-house designers. A good example of that is Open Colleges. So here in our marketing team, we have 3 designers who work on our marketing material. And the course development team have 4 or 5 designers who are working on all of the material that goes into open space, designing that learning. And those guys would have varying qualifications. Some of them would be at certificate level, and some of them would have degrees. So again, it's really about the quality of the work and the portfolio that a designer can produce that's going to get them employed. Other areas they could work would be places like film and television, and other media and publishing. Anything that really needs visual communication as part of what they do. I'll go through the structure of the course later on, but it's good to note that the last study period of this course is what's called a design challenge. And this means that students will have to do a major project, and that can form part of their portfolio that they can use when applying for jobs after they graduate. So it's good to note that when they finish, they will have solid work that they can show employers. And we really think that this new course will ensure that our students are more employable in today's design industry with, as I mentioned earlier, the blurring of your traditional graphic design with a more digital focus. So the way the course is structured, so there's 15 units within this course, and it's structured over 6 study periods. Students will get 2 years to complete, and we estimate that if they do 7 hours per week, they'll be able to complete the course within that 2 years. Now, obviously, that is going to be different for every student, and each the advice will change depending on the student's situation. One thing I'll point out is that study period 1 is the same as our design fundamentals of design course. So we introduced a course alongside our Diploma of Graphic Design, which is called Fundamentals of Design, which is 4 units, which basically gives students an introduction to design and starts them off with a portfolio. And these 4 units have been put into the first study period of this course. So what that means is students will start with the basics. And yes, it does mean that students will get credit from the Fundamentals of Design course, which I'll talk about soon. So if you look through the order of studies there, if you look at the units that they'll study, you see a real mix of traditional graphic design and some contemporary digital design in there as well. And we think that this gives students a really rounded digital design education. It gives them the real foundations that they need, but also some more contemporary, new learning that is relevant to industry. So what do students need to get into this course? Well, the wording in the brochure and the website is a little bit different to the old course. However, in practice, it's the same. So basically, what we say is that students, number 1, they need to be 18 years old. Number 2, there's no formal entry requirements. However, we at Open Colleges, we require students to either have a Certificate 3 in any discipline, or they have a Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals, or they've completed And just to note that we don't offer that Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals, but they may have done it from another provider, or that they've completed our Open Colleges Fundamentals of Design course. They'll also need to demonstrate their creative skills. Now, so if they don't meet any of those requirements above, they'll need to demonstrate their creative skills. These can be demonstrated through the same way that students do with our current Cert 4 in Design in Graphics and Cert 4 in Design in Web. They need to completed a relevant subject at high school, or they just need other qualifications in a related creative field, or they just need relevant work experience where they use their creative and design skills. So if students don't meet any of these requirements, if all else fails, you can still enroll them into the Open Colleges Fundamentals of Design course, which doesn't have any entry requirements. And if they complete that if they complete that component, they can get direct entry into this course, into the Cert 4 in Digital Design. Continued on the entry requirements, Adobe Creative Cloud is part of this course, so students will need to subscribe to Adobe Creative Cloud. So just point them off to the student section, the student edition of the Adobe website. Currently it's $14.99 per month, but I think that's a special offer at the moment in January, February 2014, and I believe that the normal price is $24.99, but obviously refer them to the website for the latest deal. And computer skills. So they do need some level of computer skill, which makes sense for a design course where they're going to be using design software. But it's fairly basic. They just need familiarity with doing internet searches, using social media. They need to be able to use a digital camera and to be able to store media in USBs and using other cloud-based storage media. So check the brochure or the website for more information about what exactly that involves. In terms of computer equipment, it's pretty standard. So again, check the brochure and the website. In terms of credit transfer, so those who've completed the Fundamentals of Design from Open Colleges, they'll receive 4 units of competency via direct credit transfer, which is essentially they'll get study period 1 off, which makes sense. So that's nice. When graduates of this course will also receive one unit of direct credit transfer into the Diploma of Graphic Design. So our diploma course, so they'll get 1 unit off. I believe it's a copyright unit, but they also get guaranteed entry into the Diploma of Graphic Design from completing the Certificate 4. Okay. So in terms of our competitors and what makes our course different to others. So the first competitor I came across was a private institute called Martin College. Martin College have campuses in Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. They teach a whole bunch of different areas. So they teach business, they teach design, they teach information technology. So they're a bit fragmented, I guess, disjointed. They're offering the course at the exact same price that we are, $5,790, which is interesting. They give very little details on how to actually pay for the course because most of their diploma level courses are offered via Vet Fee Help. If I had to guess, I would suggest that any student inquiring at Martin College for a Certificate 4 course would probably be upsold to their diploma level course. Their entry requirements include completion of Year 11 or a Cert 3 in Design, or relevant work experience, or failing that, they require you to attend an admissions interview. Now, I'm assuming that admissions interview would be more of a consultation, an enrollment consultation, and try to counsel them into the course. Having said that, though, the website, I know that students sometimes feel like an admissions interview can be a barrier, and they don't want to be judged on the basis of themselves, of their skills. You cannot start the course anytime you like. They only have 10 start dates per year. When I inquired in late January 2014, I was told that I'd already missed the February intake because you need to enroll 2 weeks before the month starts. So they offered to put me in the March one, which means I would have had to wait almost 5 weeks before I could start. And they give students 1 year to complete their course. So you've got to do it it's fairly rigorous in terms of getting through the Cert 4 in 1 year. You're probably looking at 15 to 20 hours a week to be able to complete in that time. The next competitor I found was a niche college called the Graphic Design School. They're an online-only provider. They only teach they only teach a few design courses online, and they have institutes in other countries, but their Australian office is located in Avalon on the Northern Beaches, which sounds like somebody's garage. They're offering the course for $4,650. So top line price is cheaper than ours, though to enroll you either need to pay $775 per month over 6 months. That's the payment period, and that's their payment plan option. Otherwise, you pay up front a $2,500 fee, or and then after 6 months, you pay $1,500 automatically. And then when you graduate, you pay $290 to get your certificate. And that's slightly cheaper than their payment plan price, but still it's a fair whack of cash to pay up front. You need to be 18 to enroll with them, but you also need to have an SLR camera, and they have a photography subject in their course, which is nice for them, but it means that if you don't have an SLR camera, you can't enroll. So theirs is a fully flexible online program, means you can enroll anytime, but these guys also only give you 1 year to complete the course. So if you're working full-time, it's going to be quite difficult, I think, to get through the Martin College or the graphic design school programs. You'd either have to be doing quite a bit on the weekend and in your breaks, or you'd need to take some time off to get through it. The third competitor is a college called Grenade School of Design. These guys have been around in the design industry for a while. They've got a fairly decent reputation in the design industry. They've got campuses in Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne, and another campus in country Victoria somewhere. And I think online learning for them is a recent thing. So they're traditionally a campus-based provider. So my guess is that they've taken their campus material, so textbooks, PDF, workbooks, and scanned them in and put them online. That's my guess. Same with Martin College. Martin College are a campus-based provider first and foremost, and they're now trying to get into the online space. So it's interesting. It would be interesting to understand how they feel like they're experts in online learning. So the cost of a Cert 4 in Design at Grenade is $5,990. They have they've said they have payment plans available, but don't give any details. There's also additional costs for materials. So they have textbooks, so you need to pay for those to come out to you, and postage for other materials. So they couldn't give me an estimate, but I'm guessing it would be in the couple of hundreds of dollars. So maybe let's add $200 to $300 on top of their price. Interestingly, they do cover the Adobe Creative Cloud for 12 months from students. So basically what they do is they say that their price includes the Adobe Creative Cloud for 12 months, and then they just they tell students to go and buy it themselves. So whether it includes it or not is neither here nor there. In their entry requirements, they state that every student must attend an interview. So while they're stating that keeps things exclusive, that also means that any student who applies must do an interview with their admissions officer. They also have monthly start dates, and again, their February start date is closed, and they've advised me that their next start date would be in March 2014. But they give students 2 years to complete, like we do. So when you compare the three competitors with us, our price is $5,790. You can enroll with a $100 deposit, so it's probably we probably are more accessible on the at the beginning there, and we have a $118 per week weekly payment plan. So to enroll, in terms of entry requirements, I also think we're a little more flexible in that you just need to show your general creative ability. We have the pathway available for the Design Fundamentals course if it all goes pear-shaped. Obviously, our flexibility is a major advantage, and that which applies across all of our courses, which doesn't apply for all of our competitors here. And we're giving students 2 years to complete their course. But I also think a big component here is that these other 3 providers simply teach a general Cert 4 in design. It's very focused on old school graphic design, whereas we've deliberately built a digital design course that we think is going to be very relevant in today's design industry, and that's where I think we're going to see ourselves differentiate us from the competitor set. Okay, that's pretty much it for the presentation. The course should be live in the first week of February 2014. So the code for this course in Firefly is F001V. And once the course is live, we need to not enroll any more students into the Certificate 4 in Design in Graphic Design and the Certificate 4 in Design in Web. Until the course is live, though, feel free to enroll any students into those, but I imagine that some students would be interested in enrolling in the new course. So if you have any questions about this course, please contact your team leader and they will get in touch with me, or feel free to shoot me an email directly at timjordan@opencolleges.edu.au. Thanks for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing some students start to come through into the Cert 4 in Design, specialising in digital design. Cheers.